Love me some good mechanical engineering. What's up guys, it's Drifts and Lifts here. Alright, so today's episode, we got a good amount of gravy for you. A couple things. We have the 940 here. You guys have seen this car last video. I just purchased it about a week ago. So I've done a couple things to this car since I bought it. I put a boost controller on it, I cut the exhaust off. We actually did a G80 locker mod. So the locker is modded now. This car actually has been having a running issue, and my girlfriend was driving it to work and kind of just died on the side of the highway. I've tried a couple things like MAF and a few things that people suggested, but I believe it is the fuel pump. So this car has 170,000 K and it is a 94, so that means it's had periods where it sat for good amounts of time. You know, if a car is driven often for that many years, it's going to have a lot more kilometers. So what we believe is, you know, some corrosion, and I guarantee this fuel pump has never been, the fuel filter has never been replaced on this car. So we're gonna do a new pump and a new filter. Hopefully that fixes the issue. But this episode is not gonna be about the 940. It's actually gonna be about my Dodge Cummins here. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my truck. I use it as a tow rig and a daily driver. It's got a couple mods to it. It's got, you know, some bigger injectors, 5x14s. Which is basically equivalent of 150 horse, blah blah blah, if you want to go that way. But this turbo is a HE351 off like the newer gen, third gen Cummins. It's got a power stroke intercooler, the pump's turned all the way up. It's got a 3200 governor spring, so it revs out pretty good. Stock valve springs. That's basically it. The recipe, it probably makes about 300 horse, maybe 650, 700 foot-pounds around there. It goes pretty good. It's a really fun truck. It's manual. It's a two-wheel drive, so it's fairly light. It's a single cab. But anyways, guys, so I actually looked at this. This truck was feeling just a little bit sluggish compared to what it normally is, and I was looking around the engine bay, and I noticed that the bottom manifold nuts backed off. So they're actually gone completely. So it only had two of the manifold nuts on. Therefore, there was a bunch of exhaust leaking out the bottom of the manifold, and the factory gasket gave up on me. So I think I was losing a little bit of spool in that. You know, we had exhaust coming out before the turbo. So I threw a new gasket in there. It should be good. We put nuts on it. Everything's back together. Now, when I was doing the intake boot on it, I actually ripped this just because it's an old crusty intake boot. So my girlfriend Sarah, she was on her way home from work. I got her to stop off at Mopac and pick up one of these for me. So I'm gonna chop it about right there, and we're actually gonna make a aluminum intake for this thing right now. And then once we're done that, we're gonna take it for a rip. This intake muffles down the turbo sound quite a bit because, you know, it's rubber and it's got the really big filter on it. So I actually have a cone filter and a coupling. We're gonna cut it and make a little aluminum intake. And then what we're gonna do is take this truck for a rip, because I haven't actually taken it for a good spirited rip in a while. And we're just gonna film some glorious Cummins 12 valve noises. So I'll put the GoPro like under the hood so we can hear the full intake noises and the turbo spool sounds. And then we'll do some exhaust noises, and maybe we'll do a burnout or two. And yeah, just have some fun. So that's basically gonna be the episode. And then after I do that, I'm gonna put a new fuel pump in this. Hopefully we can get this car going. And we're gonna take it for a lot of rips. Hopefully take it to a gravel road and full on like rally thrash it in some way or another. So yeah, let's do it up. Ooh yeah, that was clean. Nice. All right guys, so there's the finished product of our intake. All right, so hopefully this sounds a little better. All right guys, so we're going for a cruise right now. Just from driving the truck, just warming it up, I haven't really gotten the boost too much. The intake is way louder, so that stock intake boot with the rubber and how it's ribbed like that, especially the big stock filter, I think it really quiets it down. So this cone filter and aluminum intake pipe made the noise a lot louder for the turbo spool, so it sounds like really cool. Just the extra sound alone makes the truck more fun to drive because it's making that turbo sound all the time. I'm trying to get a little bit right here. So just like getting into it like 5 or 10 pounds, you can already hear it spool up. So we'll get the truck full operating temp, and then we'll romp it down the road somewhere. get some up close turbo noises of this new intake sound.
pretty fun donuts. We covered this little roundabout spot in, cul-de-sac in some nice tire marks. So overall, you can probably hear from the out-of-car vid that the turbo noise was way louder than before. I guess I didn't really give you guys a before video because the turbo intake boot is ripped. I don't really want to run it anymore, but yeah, let me tell you, it's definitely a lot louder. So this truck pulls nice and good now. I think it's back to the power that it had. That manifold gasket kind of fixed the little boost leak issue I was having. And yeah, so overall pretty
guys, so that's pretty much a wrap up of our video. Thanks for coming along for the ride in the Cummins. Yeah, overall this intake, I'm really happy with it. I actually didn't think it would make that much of a sound difference, but it really does. Like, you can totally hear the intake noise now. So it's got that nice turbo whistle. That's kind of all I was asking for. And who knows, maybe this filter flows better, maybe it doesn't. Not too concerned though. The truck pulls as hard as it's supposed to. And yeah, still a good old daily driver until something breaks. And then the only thing that's really going to break on this truck, to be honest, is maybe the transmission eventually. Oh, look at the rear tires, damn. We definitely peeled some of those off today. Oh yeah, they're almost bald now. Ooh, and it sucks because these are actually 16.5-inch tires, and they're really hard to find because they don't use these tires anymore. 16.5-inch wheels were kind of common in like the 80s and 90s maybe a little bit, but they're definitely not used very often now. So I'm going to be looking for a new set on Craigslist. Hopefully I can find something. But yeah, these tires are almost done now. So anyways, guys, lots of stuff to come for the channel. I'm actually going to throw a new fuel pump in this 940 now and hopefully get that going. Then we can go rape that car nicely on a dirt road and that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm also going to be installing the turbo on Ted, hopefully doing that in the next week here. So all I got to do is get the manifold machine for a T3. I called a couple shops around today, and guys were looking at about $100 to do that. So hopefully I can find a shop that's a little cheaper than that, but that's probably what I'm going to have to pay, which is no big deal. So anyways, guys, I'll leave you there. Like and subscribe for Volvo Drugs. Peace out.